Yeah.
It's George.
It's Elaine.
Come on up.
Hey, Vinny, listen.
I never heard anything like this in my life. Listen to this.
This is exciting! This is exciting! Huh? Did I miss anything already?
Kramer, get in.
Where's the crazy man?
Hey! Sit down. Come on, it's about to start.
So how did you two meet?
Actually, we met in the gym locker room.
Yeah, actually, it was in gym class. I was trying to climb the ropes, and Matt was spotting me. I kept slipping and burning my thighs, and then finally I slipped and fell on Matt's head. We've been close ever since. Welcome to Seincast.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Keep going. You got it. You got it.
A retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinny.
My name's Matt. Let's hear it from my wife for lending her voice there.
Hey.
Nice job. Nice job. How are you?
Doing well.
Good, good.
How are you?
I'm great. Well, first off, before we get going, let's talk a little bit about Seinfeld night at the Brooklyn Cyclones, Vinny.
Oh, yeah.
This was major. I would argue even bigger than the Seinfeld apartment.
I don't know. I kind of want to disagree with you there.
All right, that's fine.
So going into it, I was underhyping the Brooklyn Cyclones. I thought the Seinfeld apartment was just unbeatable. To be able to sit there, take those pictures, and see and touch everything like Seinfeld himself, I didn't think that'd be topped. But then the Brooklyn Cyclones night gave it a good run for its money.
Yeah, so about, 4 or 5 days ago, on July 5th, 2016, or 15, rather.
Whoa.
Sorry. Vinny and I and Liz went to the Brooklyn Cyclones baseball game. They're a minor league team, affiliate of the Mets, out in Coney Island. They had a Seinfeld night last year to commemorate the 25th anniversary, and it was a huge hit, so they did it again. And I don't know. I get such a kick out of this because I love minor league baseball, for one. It's so, I don't want to say blue collar, but just there's normal people there.
It's very accessible. Like you can sit really close. The ball players are accessible. Everything is within your grasp, as opposed to if you go to a big league stadium, it's so far away and kind of feels almost disjointed in a way.
Oh, very corporate, and just I can't praise the Brooklyn Cyclones any more than I am right now, because I think they just do a great show for us Seinfeld fans. They bring out the players in usually a Seinfeld themed jersey. This year that was the Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, the pimp coat that Kramer wore.
We got to meet Steve Heitner, and that was probably the highlight of the day, was getting to shake hands with him and pose for a picture.
Oh, it was huge. Funny story, actually. About, a year and a half ago, I was catching the train, or a train in Penn Station to New Jersey, and I see this guy talking to 3 other people, and they're all dressed in black, and I'm like, I think that's Steve Heitner. And like a creep, I gave him some distance, but I followed him from the 8th Avenue side all the way to the 7th Avenue side just to make sure. And sure enough, it was him. I'm like, I'm going to walk up to him. I introduced myself once he said goodbye to his friends, and kept it short. Hey, love what you do. Could I get a picture? And I got a picture with him. Fast forward to a few days ago, and we walk up and introduce ourselves. And I'm like, I ran into you in Penn Station a year and a half ago, and you wouldn't believe it, but he remembered it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, you were dressed all in black. He's like, yeah, we were by the 7th Avenue entrance. And he's like, yeah, I remember because I had just come from a funeral.
And then he started laughing.
Yeah. What's up with that?
He's got a good sense of humor.
I think so. But yeah, he was a blast. We got some bobbleheads via the Brooklyn Cyclones. They gave us a Van Buren boy, a Martin Van Buren presidential bobblehead.
Right, that was there were different packages that you could have purchased. There was a Van Buren Boys package, which got you a Van Buren Boys t-shirt and a Van Buren bobblehead. Then there was a Man Hands package.
Yeah, which I didn't hear the best things about. All you got were these Hulk... Well, they weren't Hulk hands, but I think you see them in Urban Outfitters. They're big foam hands with a little beer slot.
Koozie. It's like a koozie holder, but you have to put your hand in the Hulk hand. Mm-hmm. So it's as if this massive blue Hulk hand is holding the drink.
I want to take a screen grab of you making that gesture.
Yes. Yes.
Didn't hear the best things about those, but I love my bobblehead. I think it's great.
So not only do we get that, man, we're obsessed with the swag on this show. Not only do we get that, but the first 2,500 ticket holders.
The people line, yeah.
Yeah. They got a little Jerry Seinfeld bobblehead, so a little rooster.
Yes, it was almost a humanoid version of little Jerry. He's on his he's got a little robe on. He's got boxing gloves.
It's a gi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's got his little
That's the karate, that's why.
yes. But he's got his gloves on and it looks like he's ready to fight. He's flexing. Last year they gave out Keith Hernandez bobbleheads, which were a huge hit. But yeah, those were great. We what other things were going on there? Oh, they had a little fusilli pasta station.
The idea was wonderful, but the execution was poor because the glue did not. Nobody had the time to sit and wait for the glue to dry, so everything just collapsed. And there was, I think, one statue or one piece that actually held up. Everything else was just feet on a cardboard.
Yeah, a little piece of cardboard. Yeah, next time if they do the station again, it's tough. You might need supervision, but they need hot glue guns for sure. These were just the little bottles of Elmer's, which take at least a half hour to dry, and no one's got time for that when you're gluing together probably 20 pieces of pasta. But it was a nice effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenny Kramer, the real life Kramer inspiration, was also in attendance, and he was, as you would expect, selling his merch and branding that Kenny Kramer name.
Man, what an interesting guy.
There was a huge line of people. Everybody was either purchasing something, getting a picture, getting him to sign something, and he had kind of his own people passing out Kenny Kramer leaflets around the stadium because he's still offering the reality tour.
Yeah, he sure is. I think that's something we need to revisit, as it were. Maybe when we get to that episode with the bus.
Oh yeah.
That'll be about a year or two down the road. But yeah, it's been about 8 years, and I was shocked he was still doing it. I thought that was something he retired long ago. But yeah, was there anything else that the Brooklyn Cyclones did that
there were several little contests and games that fans could participate in. They had a Mr. Pitt sock changing contest where it was a couple, and they would have to run around the bases, participate in a little game, like drink water, and then come back and put the socks on their counterpart. Our friends participated in that one, Jamie and Dave, and they won. Congratulations.
And we should mention that Jamie was dressed up as Elaine and was a part of the Elaine dancing contest, that
was the highlight of the evening, or at least the main event was. It was 3 rounds, I think, of dancing contests.
And each time they take a vote by applause, and they vote an Elaine off until it... I actually didn't stick around to see who won ultimately, but
right.
Jamie I know won last year. I don't know if she won this year, but there was, I would say, Elaine or Jamie swept the competition last year. This year, however, there was, I would say, an equal.
I would agree.
In terms of appearance and dance. She had great wall of hair.
Oh, the flower dress.
The
little Botticelli type shoes, glasses.
Yeah.
And it was, for a guy that likes Elaine a little bit too much, it was...
Careful.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, there's something about early Elaine with the flower dress or any of the many outfits she wore early on that's just adorable. And ultimately though, the Brooklyn Cyclones every July 5th put on a great Seinfeld night. This is the second one. I think attendance was down quite a bit from last year. Hopefully,
but it was a Sunday night.
Yes,
game started. What time did the game start?
5.
2? 5. So it was late for people to come on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
I think had it been Saturday, they probably would have sold out.
Yes. Last year was on a Saturday, and Saturday nights, I guess they do fireworks. So it was just timed out perfectly with the 4th of July. This year, no fireworks, work the next morning. So here's hoping they'll do it again next year. They do other theme nights. They have a Star Wars night coming up soon. They had a Back to the Future night recently. So hats off though to the Brooklyn Cyclones. They do an awesome job, and I can't thank them enough. You too, Vinny. This is your first Seinfeld night, so
had a great time. I'd do it again.
Yeah. Well, we should mention though, we met a few listeners there, which was awesome. We had the Seinfeld Hulu apartment last week where we met a few listeners, which was awesome. And this time, I couldn't believe it. We were in the Martin Van Buren section 8, and we moved. It wasn't a sold out night, so we wanted to move down the row a little bit since my chair was broken. And we, I think, just ran to put the bobbleheads in our car, and we came back. and Liz was talking to the two guys behind us. And turns out one of them is one of our listeners, Dallas. Yeah. And would you believe it? He came all the way from...
Dallas. He's from Cleveland. I'm sorry.
Very good. Would you believe it? He came all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, just for Seinfeld Night because we recommended it on the podcast. And he was with his friend. I think his friend's name was Dave, or was it Mike?
I think it's Dave.
Yeah, well, he doesn't listen to the show anyways.
Sorry, Dave. Mike.
Rick?
I think it began with a Q.
But the two of them were just spending a few days in New York, first time. And Dallas and his friend just couldn't have been nicer. They were just an absolute pleasure to sit with, and we pretty much chatted throughout the whole game. Just so nice to meet them, and that was great. We met another listener by the name of Andy. He was in line with us, along with Dallas, when we met Kenny Kramer, which was awesome. Hey, Andy, he's
Banya.
from... what's that?
When we met Banya.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kenny Banya, yes. I made the mistake with Andy. I'm like, hey, you in line for Kenny? And he's like, no, thinking Kenny Kramer. And then he's like, oh, you're in line for Kenny Banya. Yeah, sure. But yeah, he's from Westchester, and shout out to him as well. And then we ran into our old friend Jessica again, who
we saw last week at the Seinfeld apartment.
Yes. She probably thinks we're stalking her, but no, it was really cool to see her again, and her friend, Laura, thank you. I was about to be like, Pepe? What was the name?
What I really like, though, is Jessica and Laura had Baltimore caps on.
Oh,
and
perfect.
They got their picture taken. They actually ended up on the Cyclones page on Facebook. But people were making comments about a Baltimore cap in the owner's box.
Oh.
So they were even picking up on the reference, and it was perfectly played out. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. Let's move on to one little bit of news. The finale of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee aired as of now, I guess. This is season 6. It's with good old Stephen Colbert of Montclair, New Jersey. Liz is laughing right now as I say that because she was just as irritated as I was to find out they recorded this episode like the one day we were out of town, just a block away from where we live. And we'll be sure to check that out soon. I was thinking, Vinny, next week or in the coming weeks, we should watch all 6 episodes and maybe do like a season overview and just our thoughts on each episode, if you're cool with that.
Do people want to even hear that?
Maybe not. Okay.
I'm game. I'll do it.
All right. We're about 15 minutes in. We're not going to rush this week's episode. We might talk a little bit faster than normal so we can squeeze everything in under 2 hours. Vinny, what episode do we have this week?
16th episode, season 4. The Outing. Written by Larry Charles, directed by Tom Schronis, and it aired February 11th, 1993.
Right on. Vinny, a lot of our listeners have been, well, one, they've been paying attention, which is tough with our show. But secondly, a lot of people are wondering what your least favorite episode of Seinfeld is. We know that it's from the end of season 4. Now, we're at The Outing, which is a pretty damn good episode. Is this your least favorite episode?
Spoiler alert, it's not The Outing.
Okay. That being said, what episodes do we have left? The Shoes, The Old Man, The Implant, The Junior Mint, The Handicap Spot, The Smelly Car, and The Pilot. So 7 episodes left.
Okay. So there's a little bit of drama left to figure out what it is.
There is, but I wanted to give our listeners the opportunity to guess on Facebook, Twitter, what have you, what you think Vinny's least favorite episode is, and we'll see who's right and wrong.
And if even more, can you figure out why?
Oh, there you go.
How interesting is this?
Yes, I'm sure
I'm sorry, everybody.
It'll be a huge letdown, but those are the episodes remaining after The Outing, and we'll see which one is your least favorite. For this week's episode, The Outing, we have quite a bit of trivia, quite a bit. Let's start off first with the idea for this episode. This is a Larry Charles written episode, which is interesting because last week we had the movie, which we kind of compared to, Larry Charles-esque script out of the apartment, out of the restaurant or the coffee shop. This one, though, definitely was Larry Charles-esque in the sense that it was pushing the envelope, as it were. This is I don't know if it's a polarizing episode. It's a progressive episode for some, maybe a little insulting to a few.
Well, it definitely tackles an issue that people, at least at the time, were, on two sides of the fence about, and it was very uncomfortable to talk about. So that's what makes it very Larry Charles-esque. but it's not, fishbowl, which is I think his what is word? His signature is like a fishbowl episode. So you know what I mean? So I never thought the outing was Larry Charles until we actually sat down and I'm like, oh yeah, it's talking about the whole episode is steeped in gayness. So it is.
Me either. I thought this was a Larry David script actually, but well, apparently there was this rumor, and the rumor grew with each season that Jerry was gay, the character. The rumor kind of took a life of its own by the time we got to season 4, and Larry Charles is thinking, well, hell, this is something I'd kind of like to explore. Again, the idea that he's thin, single, and neat. It's all these weird components that would lead someone to believe he's gay. Now, we mentioned this last week with the movie. This script was written before the movie. It had table read in early December, but there were some issues during the table read, which led to it being scrapped temporarily, rewritten, and the movie was pushed up instead. Now, when the cast gathered to read the script, what's his name?
Glenn Padnick.
Yes, Glenn Padnick commented that it was kind of an unhappy, uncomfortable table read. We can go over actually all the details right now of what was in that original script. I think what was most uncomfortable about it was how they handled the gay issue, as it were. It seemed like they were poking fun about being gay, or that it's wrong to be gay. So I was wondering, Vinny, if you want to go over a bunch of story points that were in the original script that were, eventually scrapped and replaced.
Absolutely. So first things first, we're in Monk's, and Sharon, the NYU reporter, she overhears Jerry and George behind the bathroom door. And Jerry says, "Stop it. Will you stop it? Look at what you're doing. This is a public restroom." To which George replies, "Oh, so what?" And then the two exit the bathroom, and Jerry and Sharon exchange these odd looks.
Yeah, so it sounds like the beginning of the episode would have roughly been the same.
Meaning Jerry and George went to the bathroom, they saw Sharon at the phone,
yes.
And then this is where this happened?
Exactly. So she instead of them just walking by, she would have overheard them in the bathroom.
I'm with you.
But what was the Elaine storyline then?
This one, Elaine recognizes a woman named Renata Karp, nice name, who lived in Elaine's dorm at Bennington. And Renata is signing copies of her new book, And the Wind Blows. And Elaine, her storyline in this episode is she obsesses over the fact that she is not the basis for any characters in Renata's book.
So a little different. I mean, you can see actually how Elaine's storyline got really pared down in the final version, but this one's interesting. It's almost like you have to read the scenes to see how it would have played out.
Right, because just seeing the story germ right now, I'm kind of recoiling. I'm glad. Of course, we love what we got with this final version of the outing, but to visualize Elaine obsessing over this, I could see it.
Especially as a copy editor or someone who works in publishing, to maybe feel like, hey, I should be the subject for once.
I have a very exciting life. Very exciting.
Now, George, we still had the Jerry birthday idea, right? That was a storyline, but
That's right.
George got him a different gift.
George bought Jerry an Abbott and Costello book, which originally was $100, but George found it on sale for $4.98. Now, this I like. He decided to buy it, of course, without telling Jerry that it was on sale.
And the whole episode, I guess, was him just like not wanting Jerry to find out that he got it super cheap.
Right. So again, touching on George's cheapness, which is always funny.
The $100 book idea reminded me of French impressionist paintings from the bookstore.
I thought of that as well.
The one he took into the bathroom,
as well as the Red Dot, a very cheap man holding a cheap book. Trying to get away with something. That's
point.
Our overview. Finally, Kramer's storyline involved him in search of a pet. Now, we remember from the pilot episode, he did have a dog named Ralph.
Now, the dog is known as Ralph. Does he ever mention the dog in the episode?
He doesn't mention him by name.
Okay. It was in the script as Ralph, I think.
Yes.
Okay. That was just a question I had.
He's Ralph to us.
Okay.
But Kramer is in search of a pet. The pet ends up being a boa constrictor. So at some point during the episode, the boa constrictor gets lost in Jerry's apartment.
That's kind of a weird. I don't know if that really would have worked. The logistics of it all. I know Larry Charles was really happy with the fact that budget or ideas were never an issue. Like, oh, that's too big for our show. They would always find a way to make it work. But I don't know how you'd make a boa constrictor work.
to me, my initial thought is, let's take this zany character and make it more zany and wrap a snake around its neck. Oh, and the snake is going to squeeze the,
Yeah.
It just seems, it seems like tacky, or like, I feel like Larry David would just oppose it from the get-go.
It's a lame term, but it seems too sitcom-y.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess reading here too, there's a little bit more of like the whole gay bathroom humor here.
Yeah, so while in Monk's, Kramer accidentally spills a drink onto Jerry's pants. So Jerry heads to the bathroom. Kramer goes with him to help clean it up. And when they exit, Sharon, who's now at this point is working for the National Enquirer, spots them.
Right. So
there's more insinuation of now Jerry and Kramer being gay together.
Right. So now we're kind of at the point where, all right, Sharon definitely believes that Jerry is gay, and now I think we're at the act break of the original episode when we come back and Jerry gets a phone call from his mom. George runs out to see his mom. So that's kind of at the point we're at structurally in the episode.
So the gang now is at Jerry's apartment, and they're trying to take heed of this hidden snake when Jerry gets a lot of phone calls from people who have read this National Enquirer article. One of the callers is a man who claims to have lived with Jerry, which is kind of interesting. And another is a woman who cancels a date with Jerry for Saturday night. So this article is starting to ruin Jerry's life.
Right. And then ultimately the episode kind of ended with a big group confrontation, I guess at a bookstore? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
I could see that. Well, it has to be because Renata, Elaine's former friend, is signing books. So Elaine confronts Renata. Jerry confronts Sharon. Renata tells Elaine that she was too bland to be in the novel and that she was a bit of a dud. So to prove Renata wrong, Elaine goes up to Jerry and starts making out with him.
Which I find fascinating, that visual.
Yeah, that would have been great.
We've never seen Jerry and Elaine kiss, I don't think.
Yeah, I think you're right. We've seen them share a bed. share in flagrante delicto. We've seen them share a bed together.
Yes.
And is that it?
Yeah, plenty of insinuation, but yeah, never like an on-screen kiss, which I thought would have been really interesting to see.
Did they kiss in a deleted scene or some sort of blooper? Am I?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Tell us if we're wrong, though, please.
So now both, at this point, Jerry and Elaine are making out. Sharon and Renata storm out as Kramer and George enter.
And now here's a really weird moment. This gets really confusing. I feel like we're missing something. But I guess two construction workers would enter the bookstore that they were at, quote, menacingly approach George and Jerry. Does that mean like it's a hate crime? Like they found out they're gay?
I think that's what they're getting at.
So well, eventually a fight would break out, right?
Yeah, which is very odd for a Seinfeld episode.
Yes.
For violence to come as a result of this.
Yeah, so, I mean, not only are our listeners uncomfortable listening to us butcher this storyline, but you can imagine how people at the table must have felt to be like, wait, what? What's going on? This isn't funny. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't track.
It's almost reminiscent of the bet.
Yeah.
The awkwardness of Elaine's going to pull out a gun and say, where do you want it, Jerry? And a McKinley,
Another Larry Charles script.
That's what I was going to say. So we finally end the episode. We're back at Jerry's. Jerry and George are reading this tiny retraction that was written about them in the new issue of the Enquirer. Kramer enters with a copy of the cheap Abbott and Costello book, which gives away George's cheapness, that he was able to get that book for $4.98. Jerry then spots the snake in his bedroom. Kramer rushes in. He's gone for a moment, and then he reappears. Like we said earlier, the boa constrictor is wrapped around his neck. So I could imagine Kramer just bumping in and crashing into things in the apartment. As they all try to help Kramer, the show ends.
Interesting ending. It's definitely physical. And, I like having the group all together. That's always satisfying. But, yeah, ultimately, a story with a lot of holes, mainly because we don't have all of the beats here in front of us. But you can get a sense that it was a very different episode than what we eventually got. So according to Glenn Padnick, once they read this, once they had the table read and there weren't a lot of laughs, everyone was uncomfortable, Larry and Jerry realized, hey, we need to do something to fix this. Glenn Padnick's suggestion was, hey, maybe we don't do the episode at all. Like, it was really tough to crack this, not only the humor of the episode, but really how to tackle this gay issue. How do we not come off as bullies or, saying there's something wrong with being gay? And I actually have a clip of Jerry here talking about what happened after the table read.
Because we had to do something about the fact that we were saying it's awful to be gay, which we knew we couldn't say. So we were discussing the problem in the office with Larry Charles, who was the writer of the episode, and he said something, and he said, not that there's anything wrong with it. He says, these guys, there's nothing, they could be gay, there's not that there's anything wrong with it. And I said, that's the line. That's the line. And I remember the exact moment. I remember where he was standing right by the door. I said, that line has to run through the whole show, and then we can get away with it. The interesting thing to me about that line was it actually accomplished two things. Was it addressed the problem and also satirized it at the same time. That was one of our best things, of like covering, really getting away with something by giving people what they want and thereby showing them, you really want this.
What I love about that clip is Jerry Seinfeld, Larry Charles, Larry David, all these guys, these writers on Seinfeld, they know what is so innately funny that they hear it. As soon as they hear it, they're like, that's it, that's the line. Mm-hmm. And we've heard that a couple times, but it's so just, it comes so natural to these guys. And Jerry right there picks up, that is the line. He heard it once and bam.
It's not easy to come up with the idea, but once it's presented in front of you, you know, I've laid this out for you. It's
lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, it just makes perfect sense. Agreed. It's just perfect. That line, not that there's anything wrong with that, is probably, I'd say, one of the top 5 Seinfeld lines of all time. I think people still use this line.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're trying to crack a joke, when you're trying to be PC. So it took 11 days to come up with that idea and totally retool the script. And the new revised version of the outing was read on December 13th. The original was on the 2nd of 1992. And they filmed it just a few days later. So, you know, a complete 180. They really turned it around. This script actually earned Larry Charles an Emmy nomination in the summer of 93. This was the year that Larry David won for the contest, though. So 2 episodes
battling for the Emmy.
Yeah, which is a shame because I would argue this episode is just as good,
really
in a different way, but just as good as the contest. However, it did win a GLAAD Media Award in 1994 for an outstanding comedy episode. So it got its due, and I think the GLAAD Media Award makes a lot more sense than just another Emmy, or a Emmy for that matter.
Yeah.
It's just going to be interesting, I think, to see how our listeners and most people who watch this episode, how they feel about it. You know, how has this episode aged into the year 2015, especially with the Supreme Court just a few weeks ago ruling that gay couples can get married. That's legal. It's a federal law in every state. So personally, I can tell you right now that I think this episode is just as funny as it was back in 1993. Maybe for different reasons, but as Jerry mentioned in that clip, you're addressing the issue, but you're satirizing it at the same time.
You're able to talk about this delicate issue and make it funny and just kind of bring light to it. And it almost is kind of groundbreaking that it paved the way for it to be more of an acceptable topic, right?
Oh yeah, I would list this as maybe the most progressive Seinfeld episode. I don't know if it's saying that much because it is 22 years old, but for the time, my God, that's fantastic. We talk about how Elaine, talks about, I hate calling it this, but like feminine issues, which you just didn't really hear coming from a female character on a sitcom, mainstream sitcom. It's wonderful. I feel like whenever comedy can be used to push an issue forward or make people who are uncomfortable or uncertain about something come to accept it or come to be able to at least talk about it openly. So should we move on?
Yeah.
I am getting a little tired of pretending I'm excited every time it's somebody's birthday. You know what I mean? What is the big deal? How many times do we have to celebrate that someone was born? Every year, over and over. All you did was not die for 12 months. That's all you've done, as far as I could tell. I know those astrology things where they tell you all the people that have the same birthday as you. It's always an odd group of people, too, isn't it? It's like Ed Asner, Elijah Muhammad, and Secretariat.
Solid as always. My favorite line, all you did was not die for 12 months. It's pretty good.
Very cynical look at birthdays. This actually feels like Larry Charles wrote it, I feel. It's something about it feels like it's like a slice or like a sliver of a bigger stand-up. Mm-hmm. If you look, he's actually talking as they fade out. Like they clipped it right there for time.
Interesting.
But anyways, I like that list too. It's always an odd group of people: Ed Asner, Elijah Muhammad, and Secretariat.
It's true though.
Yes.
I know Jean-Claude Van Damme was born on my birthday.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
I've got Karl Marx. So
Right on.
How do you like that?
Right on.
Anyways, first scene of the episode, we're in George's car, and here's that shot that we're getting all season. George in the driver's seat, Date in the passenger seat. He's trying to break up with his girlfriend, apparently, and hearing that now she doesn't want to live. She is suicidal, I guess. And he tells her, hey, I'm nothing. You could, do better than me. You could throw a dart out a window and hit someone better than me.
You're good. You're good.
That last line is great. You're killing me. It's pretty dark,
Very.
Yes.
Allison, the unstable woman, as she's referred to in the script, is played by Carrie Coleman. It's funny. I don't remember her, or at least she doesn't come to mind as being in multiple Seinfeld episodes, but she was in fact in 3 episodes of Seinfeld. She was in The Outing, she was in The Smelly Car, and The Pilot, all as the same character, Allison.
Wow, yeah, very. I hate saying this because you never want to attack the actor or actress, but kind of a forgettable character. You never would have known
because she stands out here. I remember her,
Yes.
very well in this episode. But I mean, they utilize her well when she comes back in The Smelly Car and The Pilot. I think is when George is talking to Susan about being a lesbian. Doesn't Allison notice her and say, "That's a lovely sweater vest"?
That's right. Yes.
And then we learn in The Pilot that they actually got together. They're now a couple. And when they do all those quick cuts of various characters that they've interacted with over the season, when George says, you hear in the background the Seinfeld pilot being played, and George makes some sort of line. And then Allison and Susan are sitting on the couch, and they look at each other. That's total George,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the way they use her is great. It's just I totally forgot.
That's interesting. And I actually could see Susan, if they didn't break up, Susan being in this role, because her whole life has been ruined by George. I could see it leading her to, as dark as it is, suicide.
Good point.
Or at least being so dependent on George, not realizing how much this guy is ruining her life.
Mm-hmm. So more with Carrie Coleman. She was on 3 episodes of In Living Color.
Oh, we were just watching that.
We were. Oh man, that show is so good.
I love In Living Color.
Mm-hmm.
DVD set, got it all.
Yeah, she was in Multiplicity. She was in Sour Grapes, directed by and written by Larry David. She played a female coworker in that, and she was in The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. These are the new ones that came out. She played Helen Stacy.
Oh, that would have been Gwen Stacy's mom.
Okay,
Interesting.
Then she was on the TV shows Zach Stone Is Going to Be Famous, Switched at Birth, and the miniseries The Spoils Before Dying.
Cool.
Also worth noting, Megan Mullally also auditioned for the role of Allison. You may remember her as the girlfriend in... what episode is that?
I think that's The Implant. I think it's coming up.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
She plays the girlfriend of George, whose aunt or grandmother just passed away, and George tries to get a death in the fair.
Or Death in the Family.
Death in the Family fair.
Yes. Probably best known for playing, I don't know the character's name on Will and Grace.
Yeah.
But not Grace.
Not Will either.
And also, you would know her best at Parks and Rec, right?
Parks and Rec. Tammy too.
Tammy too.
She's a great hit. Yeah.
Ron Perlman and Tammy too.
Swanson.
What did I say?
Perlman. Wow.
Damn, not Ron Perlman.
The wheels are coming off today.
Yes. All right. We're not even to the second scene yet. Second scene, we're at Monk's. Hey, Ruthie Cohen at the cash register. It's going to get old real quick. Jerry's on the phone trying to get in touch with this girl, Sharon Leonard, who works for the NYU paper. I always thought it was really weird that Jerry and Sharon hooked up, because I'm like, she's young, she's a kid, but she is a grad student.
Grad school.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought she was undergrad.
What are you, an idiot?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's hard to figure that one out. She was supposed to meet Jerry for an interview, and he doesn't know where she is. George, meanwhile, is telling Elaine about not being able to break up with Allison because she threatened to kill herself, and
over you?
Yeah,
Ouch.
It's so dark. Hard to imagine, but
is the over you question, is that referring to over George, or the fact that Allison is so crazy? Is it poking fun at both?
Oh, definitely George.
Definitely George.
Like a woman's gonna kill herself over you, of all people. So Elaine wonders what George is getting Jerry for his birthday.
I got 2 tickets to see Guys and Dolls.
Love his enthusiasm. Again, we've talked about this since the beginning. George's, I think, love of Broadway shows.
Right.
Les Mis.
West Side Story.
Yeah. How do you solve a problem like Maria?
It's a lovely song.
MacArthur Park. What's the other one with the phone message? Lemon Tree.
Oh, yeah. Pipe down, chorus boy.
I wanted to tell you, though, that and maybe we should bring this up later because Guys and Dolls as a show becomes an issue. But I saw Guys and Dolls not once, not twice, but 3 times when I was studying abroad in London because...
I know why.
Oh, you know why.
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, baby. I mean, hell, we can talk all about the complexities and spectrum of one's sexuality, but I'm madly in love with Ewan McGregor. Not as much as I used to be, but at the time, I mean, my God, I would have married that man. And I saw him perform as Sky Masterson in Guys and Dolls in London, and it was an incredible show. Jane Krakowski was in that as well.
Oh, the mom from Malcolm?
No, 30 Rock.
Good Lord.
Oh my God, where are we tonight? 30 Rock. Hey, Unbreakable. Kimmy Schmidt. Ally McBeal.
Right.
She kind of has a Julia thing going on with that chin.
She does.
Pointed chin.
I think that's what it is for me. That's what gets me.
Elaine, great joke here. Elaine assumes she'll be going with Jerry, but George gets very defensive. No, I'm going to take him. Mm-hmm. So, meanwhile, Elaine got Jerry a 2-line phone for his birthday.
And George kind of sloughs that one off. He's like, oh, that's good.
Oh, of course. That feels very Larry David, like, all right, whatever. Jerry makes it back to the booth and explains Sharon, who's a grad student in journalism, she was supposed to interview him. She's never been to a comedy show. She's never seen Jerry, which seems like a weird plot hole. Like, how would she not know what he looks like? Or
they had to throw that in there.
Yeah. At least make plans to, hey, I'll be wearing this, or I'll meet you at this time at this restaurant.
Speaking of what he's wearing, when we see Jerry come back to the booth, he's wearing a turtleneck. Was that wardrobe choice deliberate?
Why is that?
Because of he talks about the stereotype in a little bit about being thin, single, and neat.
Oh, the thin aspect?
Accentuate.
Yeah, I could see that.
It just kind of, I don't know, everything kind of fits in this episode.
Yeah, the thin angle, definitely. Because Jerry's always been a thin guy, but he hasn't shown off his physique, as it were, since season 1, maybe 2. Mm-hmm. Ever since he's been wearing kind of those baggy button-down shirts. There's this great line here, which I need to bring up because we have used this many times when he says, hey, Sharon's never seen me before. And Elaine says, oh, gotta envy that.
You've been developing quite the acid tongue lately.
Yeah. Haven't we used that before? Come on.
Always.
Back me up.
If a insult is ever hurled out, you're going to tell somebody they have an acid tongue.
Yes. And Elaine's smile is just adorable. She does that underbite thing.
Yep.
So they get on a topic here. Who is the most unattractive leader, a world leader of all time? Jerry says it begins and ends with Brezhnev. Elaine says, hey, you ever get a good look at de Gaulle? George says Lyndon Johnson. But Elaine ends the argument with gold in my ear could make them all run up a tree.
I'm looking at a lineup of them right now. I got to side with Elaine. I think gold in my ear is the winner.
Now, you sent me, all 4 photos earlier. We'll put that up on Facebook and Twitter, all the social media sites, and our listeners can decide who is the most unattractive.
Who wore it worst?
So in the next booth, right behind them / next to them, there are 2 women, and they're eavesdropping on the group's conversation. So Elaine just blurts out,
just because you 2 are homosexuals, so what? You should just come out of the closet already and be openly gay.
And wouldn't you know it, it seems like George, of all people, is the one who likes this role-playing more.
He wants to play along, yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry's not amused in the slightest from the get-go.
Not at all. George, who, again, is a character who, again, from the get-go, always seems to be a little, we don't want to say homophobic, but just afraid he might be gay.
His sexuality has come into question in the past, and the most notable one would be the note when he visits the masseuse, Raymond, and he also has the attraction to Evander Holyfield.
Yes. Going back even further, he's afraid of sitting between Elaine and Jerry in the front seat of that car.
Right.
Remember that episode?
Yep. He's also always been a stall man.
Right.
Can't go to the urinal.
Good point.
So then, listen to this. George's follow-up to Elaine's request. So what do you say? You'll always be the only man I've ever loved. And does that line sound kind of reminiscent of Mr. Ross in the Cheever letters?
Oh, yeah. That's right. He does have that same line.
Yeah.
I loved him deeply in a way you can never understand. Jerry, as you mentioned, though, is not feeling it. And I love this analogy. Hey, go along. I could see you, George in Berlin, 1939, goose-stepping right past me. Come on, Jerry, go along, go along. Funny enough, in the commentary, Jason Alexander mentioned you'll never see Jerry more uncomfortable than like a man trying to be affectionate with him, which I thought was an interesting commentary. So Jerry brings up what Larry Charles used as the idea for this episode, that he's gay because he's single, thin, and neat. So one of the women next door in the booth gets up to make a phone call, and we find out, oh my God, this is Sharon Leonard from the NYU paper. And she leaves a message on Jerry's machine that they must have missed each other. This is while Jerry and George head to the bathroom. And it's not mean, she doesn't have this judgmental look, but she definitely notices them. The
fact that they're going in one right after the other.
And she just heard that they're closeted, they're gay.
True. Once again, this whole misunderstanding could have been avoided if they had cell phones. They could have texted, "Where are you? I'm in the booth."
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you meant the whole clearing up the gay.
That rumors. Too. Yeah.
But she finds a Grindr app on his cell phone or something like that. All right. So we're at Jerry's apartment a few days later, or I guess maybe later that day. George arrives, very excited to tell Jerry that, hey, I thought of a great name for myself if I ever became a porno actor.
Oh yeah, what? Buck Naked?
What do you think about that porno name?
It's great.
You like it?
Yeah. Is this the first mention of Buck Naked?
I think so. Okay. Does it come up in another episode?
Well, maybe because it comes up later in this episode. I always think it comes up in another episode, but I'm probably wrong.
No, you might be right, though. How do you figure out your porn name? It's like your first pet in the street you grew up on. Mine was Scruffy Carrollton.
I like that. Mine was a Bear Brandywine.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my God, alliteration. You got the bear component.
Yeah.
I like it. Anyways, sorry. I like that one a lot. I didn't know this, though, that Larry David had a pen name, right?
I did not know that either.
Buck Dancer. Buck Dancer. So, and even weirder, he was credited as Buck Dancer in The Mango.
Never noticed that either, so we'll have to take notice of that when we hit season 5.
Right. Now, that little fact says the original broadcast, so maybe it was just in the aired version, and they changed it for the DVDs / syndicated version. I don't know, but keep an eye out. There's a moment here where we have done this many times. Hey, Jerry, what do you think of this shirt? And very reminiscent to me of The Boyfriend when Jerry asks Elaine,
That's right.
What do you think of this shirt?
I feel like when you ask somebody what they think of your shirt, you already know the answer because you yourself are unsure about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because George doesn't seem to be crazy about this shirt to begin with.
That's what I always heard about flipping a coin. If you ever have to flip a coin to make a decision, you're going to find yourself hoping it's one side. So you already have your answer.
Yeah. That's deep.
It turns out Allison bought it for him, which again reminds me of the time Susan buys the shirt for George in the Maestro. It's, burning his retina.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this. Jerry asks George, how are you going to get out of that one? What's George's response?
I guess I'll just have to wait for her to die.
Now, is that foreshadowing or what?
Oh, yeah. Good point. Damn.
Probably unknowingly, but George will get out of his ultimate relationship via death.
When someone dies, yeah. That is a pretty dark joke. Not just dying, but the fact that she has threatened to kill herself.
I didn't even think of that. You're right.
I have to wait for her just to kill herself, and then I'll be out. But the intercom buzzes, and hey, it's Sharon from NYU to do the interview. She arrives, and man, the look she gives Jerry and George is priceless, realizing that they're the gay couple from the restaurant. Jerry, however, doesn't recognize her. You look very familiar. Cute moment here too when when Jerry introduces her to George. He just kind of waves and smiles.
Yeah, like the quiet boyfriend. You notice he doesn't say anything. And was he drinking like a wine cooler or something?
I thought it looked like a smoothie or like kefir. I don't know what it was.
It's a weird drink.
Champagne coulis, yeah. Now, here's a great moment when Sharon sits down. She takes out her tape recorder, and George is like, "Oh, I hate my voice on tape. It always sounds so high and whiny."
That's how I feel every Thursday.
That's why you have never listened to an episode of Seincast.
And will not.
That idea, though, of George hating his voice, though, ties a little bit into the fatigues with risk management.
That's right.
He hates the sound of his voice. This guy's terrible.
What is risk? How do we manage it?
Sharon starts the interview and finds out that Jerry and George are actually writing a pilot for NBC. Hey, remember this subplot?
That was they finally mentioned it again.
Out of nowhere. I never realized how that, as much as I love that subplot, it's my favorite ongoing storyline throughout the whole series, how it really gets dropped for half the season.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. The execs were like, you might want to cool it on the mentioning the pilot every episode because, fans may not get it. It's too in Hollywood. So I kind of miss it. And I like that they're finally bringing it back. And if you look at today's TV and movie culture, everything is about continuity. Mm-hmm. So had Seinfeld been done today, or look at Curb for that matter. Every Curb season has this wonderful arc that they build on.
I like how Sharon here is like hearing about the pilot. Oh, you also work together.
Yeah.
And Jerry's little reactions where he's like, he's catching it. He's like,
Yeah.
what is she getting at?
And George is so clueless. He's like, yeah.
Yes. He's like happier than normal, like to chat with someone.
Well, he's in a very committed relationship at this point.
Right. And we get one of the greatest Jerry George moments over the pair, the cleanliness of the pair.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoy Sharon's line of, you should hear how my boyfriend talks to me. It's very New York and very Brooklyn.
Yes, absolutely. That is interesting, though, that she mentions her boyfriend because, spoilers, she does hook up with Jerry at the end.
Yeah,
So
wow.
Is she lying here? Like, just to make them feel more comfortable? Or George, for that matter?
It might be a casual thing between her and her boyfriend. She may have just broken up with her boyfriend because she found out Jerry's a successful comedian who's thin, single, and neat.
She thinks he's gay.
Maybe that's how she gets her kicks.
Maybe, yeah. So one more bit before we go to the clip. George asks Sharon about the shirt. Hey, what do you think of the shirt?
It's nice.
Jerry said he didn't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said it was okay.
The bickering is just out of control.
This scene in particular, but the whole episode, but this scene in particular is so cleverly written. Larry Charles and the writers, they're trying to get you to think a certain way and kind of, they're implying that this is a gay couple because that's what Sharon, the reporter, is seeing. We're kind of seeing it through her perspective.
Yes.
And you really buy that they're this old married couple bickering over fruit. He didn't like the way my shirt looked. It's just so well done.
Absolutely. And it's funny, we have brought up, I think, on other episodes throughout the series so far, that Jerry and George will bicker from time to time, like a married couple. It's not limited just to this episode where is this coming from out of nowhere? But it fits so perfectly. It almost has that payoff where here the bickering is totally going to screw them over in a big way. And let's go to the clip, one of just the best clips of all time.
So how did you two meet?
Oh, actually, we met in the gym locker room.
Yeah. Actually, it was in gym class. I was trying to climb the ropes, and Jerry was spotting me. And I kept slipping and burning my thighs. And then finally I slipped and I fell on Jerry's head. And we've been close ever since.
Do you guys live together?
Live together?
No, I got my own place.
Oh. And do your parents know?
No, what?
My parents, they don't know what's going on.
Oh, God, you're that girl in the coffee shop that was eavesdropping on us. I knew you looked familiar.
Oh, no! No!
I better get going.
There's been a big misunderstanding here.
Yeah.
We did that whole thing for your benefit. We knew you were eavesdropping. That's why my friend said all that. It was on purpose. We're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I mean, it's fine if that's who you are.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have many gay friends.
My father's gay.
Look, I know what I heard.
Heard. It was a joke.
All right, look, you want to have sex right now? Do you want to have sex with me right now? Let's go. Come on, let's go, baby. Come on.
Hey, come on, let's go. I thought we were going to take a steam.
No, I don't want
no
any
steam.
steam. No steam.
Well, I don't want to sit there naked all by myself.
What do you say about a clip like that?
The clip of the year.
Yes. The panic in George's voice. I mean, Jerry's pretty upset, but George, as soon as it clicks that she is the girl from the restaurant.
Oh no!
It's just incredible.
And George to offer sex at a moment's notice to
Come
prove,
on, baby.
Yeah, to prove that he is not gay is. And if you notice, when you watch that scene, Jerry is smirking all the way through it.
He's laughing throughout this whole episode.
Yeah,
man.
which is really a fun treat for us.
Yes, absolutely. So much to talk about in that scene, but we'll leave it be. It's brilliant. The energy and Kramer coming out of nowhere. Where'd the steam come up?
Yeah. So this is Kramer's first appearance in the episode, right? Mm-hmm. Notice there's no clapping as he enters.
Good point.
Because people are going to step on his line. And he's so perfectly utilized to kind of button the scene to put that cherry on top. I thought we were going to take a steam. Mm-hmm. And also keep in point that in the original episode, this was going to be the point where Kramer came crashing into the apartment with his new pet boa constrictor around his neck.
Right. So just, the Kramer is that wild card, that element of chaos where it's like, we're in a bad situation here, you're making it worse. Mm-hmm. But I think this is so much more clever and appropriate. Everything, like the contest, everything feels connected in this episode.
Yeah.
For the most part, at least. Whereas the whole pet idea just feels very disjointed. The whole steam, though, does come back in the Junior Mint.
You got that straight.
Oh, I'm sorry. The implant. My bad.
Yes.
With Sidra and Salman Rushdie. We should mention, though, too, I guess, before we move on, that George does comment, as we did at the top of the show, how they met in gym class. Now, we talked about this from the Stranded in season 2/season 3, that Jerry's older than George, but
it's kind of a gray area that we don't like to really delve too deeply into.
Well, yeah, some of our listeners pointed out in a future episode that they say they're only a few months apart. So
that's right.
I think the continuity of the earlier seasons is kind of forgotten about, and it's official. They went to school together. They met in gym class. Jerry fell on his head, or he fell on Jerry's head.
And they've been close ever since.
Yes.
The lovely Sharon Leonard is played by the lovely Paula Marshall. She was in the show Dinosaurs. She was in Hellraiser 3, Life Goes On, The Wonder Years, Cheaper by the Dozen, Nip Tuck, Californication. And she was actually in 6 separate TV series that never made it out of the first season. It wasn't until she got that show Gary Unmarried with Jay Moore that she had broken that curse of never making it out of a first season. She was also in House MD and 2.5 Men.
Wow. A lot of work, which is interesting because I've never seen her outside of a Seinfeld episode.
I do remember her from Gary Unmarried because I recognized her immediately. I was like, that's the girl. That's Sharon.
Blue shirt.
Yeah. And finally, Leah Remini also auditioned for the role of Sharon. You may remember her from King of Queens.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
As well as, I always like to remember her as Stacey Carosi from Seinfeld, from Saved by the Bell.
Yes. The season they're on the beach.
Yes. I love that season.
She would have been perfect, actually. She seems like, the right age, kind of like mid to late 20s.
And that hard Brooklyn kind of quality to her.
Mm-hmm. So we haven't really been doing this on the show. We bring it up every once in a while. We're not tracking it. But I have to say, Paula Marshall is absolutely gorgeous, I think. And Sharon is, at this point, and probably till the end, my favorite girlfriend of Jerry's.
Mm-hmm. You've said that over the years, and I always see it when she pops up. I'm like, there's Matt's girl.
Oh,
but,
yes.
She's quite a looker.
Yeah, I'm smitten.
Love that voice, too.
Yes. Oh, yeah, just everything about her. We did the whole bacon frying pan last week, but she can bring home the bacon, fry it in the pan. Yeah, love her look. Love the outfits she wears. I love the flannel with the tucked-in shirt.
And the 90s jeans that go really high.
Dude, I still wear that outfit. Like, I'm always sporting mom jeans and a flannel shirt, I feel. But, yeah, great look. Great girl.
Tremendous girl.
Thoughts on her, though? Are you a fan of Sharon?
Oh, yeah. I just don't want to infringe because I know you're a big fan.
Well, thank you very much.
I'll save mine for somebody else.
Well, let's see. Moving on to Jerry's apartment again. Jerry's blaming Elaine for all of this. She offers to talk to Sharon for him. She can walk him in the room. Problem solved. Ultimately, though, if Sharon goes with the story, this whole, George, Jerry, gay story, it'll only be in an NYU paper. So that's a good thing. It'll be a controlled, small environment. And we get this little drop here. Interesting. Little drop of Jerry suggesting Elaine take off her coat. She's got that big, almost like a winter coat, I guess.
Parka.
But she won't, of course. Elaine is very stubborn at times. She doesn't want someone telling her what to do.
I like that about her, yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't you know it, another classic scene next to the one we just heard. Kramer enters, very excited to give Jerry his birthday gift.
Happy birthday, Faruba!
What is Faruba?
I have no idea. I was going to ask you.
Okay.
I Googled it, and the first one is an Urban Dictionary definition, which is very inappropriate, so I'm not going to say it here. And the second one deals with some sort of anime fruit thing.
All right.
So I think it's just a Kramer or a Michael thing.
Okay. Well, Jerry opens his gift, and hey, a 2-line phone. All right. Joke being the same gift that Elaine got him.
Which, let's talk about. The 2-line phone is probably an obsolete piece of technology today, for one. Also, we listened to there's a commentary track on this episode done by Julia, Jason, and Michael, and they point out if you notice the wrapping for the gift, it's TV show wrapping, which is kind of the cliche way they wrap, so it's easy to open and the paper doesn't get in the way and make a lot of noise.
Yes.
But it's a pre-wrapped box that has a lid, so all you do is lift up the lid, presents right there.
I kind of like that in real life. It's convenient.
No mess. And you can save the box for another gift.
Since you listened to that commentary, Julia pointed this out, and I never would have noticed that she actually mouths the word shit.
Yeah.
When Jerry goes, hey, a 2-line phone, which I'm surprised I don't think they had much of an option since she's facing the camera when she says it, but that totally went by unnoticed for me. Elaine leaves to return something, wink, wink. And Jerry and Kramer set up the phone. And what do you say about a scene like this? Because I love how happy they both are. It's so sweet and genuine.
These little moments in the show really give heart.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but you know it's there,
And specifically what we're talking about, Kramer's I want to be the first one to, call you. I love that, his excitement for him.
Here we go, the maiden call.
Yeah, maiden call. And that line on when Jerry picks up the phone and Kramer says, happy birthday, buddy. Mm-hmm. How many times have we said that?
We say it even if it's not our birthday.
Yeah,
if we're excited about whatever we're embarking on.
That or sort of like a replacement for I love you, happy birthday, buddy. Just when we're sharing in the happiness, the joy of a moment. But here we go. Classic scene number 2. Jerry gets a call on the other line and hangs up with Kramer while he takes it.
Hello?
Jerry, it's Sharon from NYU.
Oh, hi.
I was just calling to tell you I'm not going to play up that angle we talked about in the story.
Oh, thank you very much. That's great. Hold on a second. I got a call on the other line. Hello?
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? I got that reporter from the newspaper on the other line.
Oh, hey, so what did she say?
Oh, she said she's not going to play up that angle in the story. She thinks we're heterosexual. I guess we fooled her. Yeah. All right, I'll get rid of her. Hold on. Sharon? Hello? Sharon, are you there? I'm back.
I could hear you on the other line.
What are you talking about?
I heard what you said. Sharon, are you there?
You heard me talking on the other line? Are you sure?
Yes, I heard you.
Well, maybe she was disconnected.
Maybe she wasn't. Maybe she heard the whole conversation.
All right, hang on. Let me call Kramer and see if you can hear anything. Hold on.
Hello.
Kramer, there may be a problem with the phone. Hold on.
There may be a problem with the phone. Hold on.
Oh, no! Kramer, this phone's a piece of junk. Goodbye.
This phone's a piece of junk. Goodbye.
Oh, no, now she's heard everything. What are we going to do?
No, she thinks we're gay. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, of course not. People's personal sexual preferences are nobody's business but their own.
Oh, no. Man.
Perfect? Is this scene perfect?
Yeah, again, on par with the scene we played right before it when Sharon finds out that Jerry and George are an old married couple. The anxiety you feel as this scene unfolds. It's I feel just as uncomfortable as I did the first time I saw it, and it's hilarious to boot. So
Yeah, you don't want Jerry. Like, Jerry is getting outed, and he's not, and there's nothing you can do about it, you know. And they even the fact that he tells George jokingly, I guess we fooled her.
totally innocent.
We know, yeah, which is a joke that everybody would make, but we know that reporter is on the other line. She heard everything. Now she feels like she's been had, so she's going to run the story.
This happens in a few other scenes. None of them come to mind, you know, but I know it's happened where when Jerry goes back to Sharon and he's like, Sharon, hello? And it's almost like you feel like something's wrong. There's no reason why Sharon wouldn't be there. And when he goes back to George and George says, you know, I could hear you on the other line. It's like my stomach plummets. I actually have chills right now, like thinking of that, being exposed. Ooh, man, it's a rough one. So we bounce over to an NYU dorm, which is interesting.
And keep in mind, did you notice, if you look in the background, there is a painting or a poster of triangles?
Really? I did not notice that.
I think Roy, the fat starving artist, makes an appearance.
Oh, well, that episode is in a couple of weeks here. So
that's why I brought it up.
Well, there you go. Elaine arrives to talk to Sharon, of course, wearing that huge coat. And when Sharon suggests she take it off, you can sense some tension. Elaine gives her a look. You know, before we move on to the next scene at Monk's, where Elaine explains what happened. You know, they got in a fight. Sharon forcibly tried to get her to remove it. I figured we could talk a little bit about this deleted scene. Did you watch this on the deleted scene or on the DVD? So Elaine arrives at the NYU dorm, and she's like, hey, I want to clear up the whole mix-up. And it goes past the moment Sharon says, hey, take off your coat. Elaine refuses. They start to talk about the phone call, but Sharon just can't get past the coat. You know, you're not hot. And here you get the only time this entire episode that Elaine would have said, not that there's anything wrong with that. Oh. So if you notice this episode, everyone says that but Elaine.
He's not gay. Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that. Well,
and I think that's kind of a shame because it would have been a nice, unified joke.
That is a shame.
Yes.
I believe it's uttered 8 times in this episode.
Yeah, I think so too. So this would have been the 9th. We'll have a nice little montage of all the times it's mentioned at the end. But anyways, the scene ends with them arguing about the coat. So it seems necessary that they cut this because it's a little redundant if in the next scene she just explains what happened.
What if Elaine said, I have to wear this coat all the time because I'm keeping my friend's trench coat in my closet because it's packed to the gills.
I like it. It's a deep pull.
It's a reaching.
Yes. So at Monk's, Jerry and George are pretty ticked because, Elaine fighting with Sharon pretty much ruined their chance to clear things up. And George even adds, hey, there are tribes in Indonesia where if you keep your coat on in somebody's house, the families go to war.
At this point, Jerry and Elaine struggle to remove the jacket.
Yes, they have that little tiff. And Jerry laughing, I think, throughout the whole thing. That line, though, from George about, if you don't take your coat off in somebody's house, families go to war, reminded me a little bit of Frank, refusing to take his shoes off with his Korean girlfriend's family in the understudy.
Nobody's seeing my feet.
Yes. What's that line? It's like, I think your people have put a lot of importance on the removal of shoes or something. So George tries to lighten things up by giving Jerry his birthday gift.
2 tickets to Guys and Dolls. I'm going to go with you.
Isn't that a lavish Broadway musical?
It's Guys and Dolls, not Guys and Guys.
There are a lot of guys in that musical. Elaine gives Jerry her gift.
Oh, lady!
Oh, man. Come on. It just breaks your heart. It's so cute and warm and affectionate.
I'm glad you're saying it, not me.
I actually knew a guy that I worked with when I was a waiter many years ago named Laney.
Oh.
And, but I never said that. I never went, Laney! And what do you know it? Elaine's gift is...
The collected works of Bette Midler?
Jerry and George look pretty uncomfortable, and he struggles to admit that he likes it.
So what?
Yeah.
So nothing.
Bette Midler will, of course, come back in the previously mentioned understudy. 2 guys are at the counter here, and they're pointing at Jerry, who walks up, and he's like, hey, why are you guys pointing at me? And they say that you're in the New York Post. There's an article about you.
Although they maintain separate residences, the comedian and his longtime companion seem to be inseparable.
Oh no, the Associated Press picked up the NYU story. So here you go. Here's the real rub. Now it's going to be in every paper. He's been outed. He wasn't even in. God, I love this dialogue. Is so clever, this episode.
Yeah.
Yes. George, though, is just so upset. His face is buried. He doesn't know what to do. So we get an act break, and we're back at the apartment hearing a little bit more about this article.
Within the confines of his fastidious bachelor pad, Seinfeld and Costanza bicker over the cleanliness of a piece of fruit like an old married couple. I told you that pear was washed.
And Kramer enters, feels betrayed. You know, I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
He's not like mad because Jerry is gay or George is gay.
He didn't confide because they're best friends.
I'm your best friend. You should have opened up to me. But
there was a nice cut line from this scene where Elaine said, well, at least she didn't come out and say it. It's all implied. And Jerry replies, yeah, like John Wilkes Booth implied he was unhappy with the Lincoln administration.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that one could have stayed in.
But, Jerry claims that it's not true. Kramer doesn't believe him. And, hey, the masquerade is over. You're thin, late 30s, single.
Yeah, so are you.
Yeah, boogie dog.
That has to be my favorite Kramer reaction of all time. The way he gurgles, if that's the right word.
Well, it's
I don't
delayed.
know how he does that.
Delayed response, gurgle, and then has to grab the wall for support.
Yeah, and then he has to leave in shame or just he doesn't know what's going on.
Well, we'll find out what's going on later. Or it's debatable, I guess. Mm-hmm. So the phone rings. George picks it up.
George?
Mrs. Seinfeld?
Oh, my God.
So Jerry takes the phone as George realizes.
Oh, my God. My mother!
Sprints out the door. And down in Florida, the Seinfelds are having a tough time.
It's those damn culottes you made him wear when he was 5.
They were shorts.
They were culottes. You bought them in the girls' department.
By mistake. Yeah, Helen and Morty are convinced that they made their son gay by buying culottes from the girls' department when Jerry was 5. But it was all a mistake. It's so funny. And I think this is accurate. I mean, there are a lot of, there are all sorts of stories when people, come out or they're outed, as it were. You know, some people are really supportive, others, unfortunately, not so. But I love it when, in this episode, when Jerry and George are, quote, outed, everyone makes it about themselves. It's never about Jerry and George. It's always about, how could you not tell me? Or, I'm sorry I made you this way. Or, are you a porno actor too? No one is ever thinking about Jerry or George, how they're feeling.
Yeah.
It's always turned inward selfishly, which is sadly kind of accurate. But
Liz Sheridan gets a not that there's anything wrong with that.
yes, very nicely done. It would have been nice if Morty got in on that too, but it seems like Morty might be the one who's having a harder time dealing with Jerry being gay. Mm-hmm. So we cut over to the hospital. Remember this hospital, Vinny?
It looks very familiar.
Estelle in bed, George sitting next to her, curtain, right behind him, silhouette of someone laying in bed.
Once again, she threw out her back.
Yes, but this time
She fell off the toilet.
yes, she was reading the article, fell off the toilet, and the super had to help her while she's laying there, half naked.
Which is an interesting continuity bit because in a couple episodes we learned that they live in a house in Queens.
Yeah, I wonder if they have.
So they don't have a super.
Yeah, was that a house or could it be? Well, let's say it's a condo. Would you have a super for a condo? You own it. Yeah,
There's a condo association.
Yeah,
But I think they needed somebody not family related to have to pick her up half naked.
Yes.
Hence, super.
It's kind of a shame that Frank isn't mentioned in this episode. How your father would have dealt with it. Because last time, this is of course all a parody of the contest, right? When George visits his mom and the two women get the sponge bath. She says, your father's in Chicago or something like that. He's away. That's why he didn't catch him. But Frank had to have heard about the article, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just feel like it's just a shame we won't really get to know Frank for a couple more episodes. But Estelle assumes the worst since her son is gay. I don't know anything about you anymore. Maybe you're making porno films.
Yeah, he's buck naked. You what?
Buck naked? This is a good line, too. She's like, I can see Jerry being gay. He's so neat and thin. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Of course not. before this hulking male nurse walks in, Estelle Harris actually was not available to do the scene during the audience taping. So they hired another actress to come in to read the lines so that they could film the audience laugh track. And who was that actress? One Fran Drescher, who you may know from Nanny fame.
Yes. This was a year before the Nanny premiered. So I think she was well known, or she was known.
She's a comedian.
Just not that well known. She was after the Nanny.
It's interesting because she's much younger than Estelle Harris, but she has that great voice.
I open up the paper and this is what I have to read about. I fell right off the toilet. My back went out again. I couldn't move. The super had to come and help me up. I was half naked.
Don't you think Fran Drescher would be a good relative of George's?
Oh yeah.
Or like a sister to Carol. You know, gotta see the
now we're
baby.
talking.
But yeah, playing that clip though, it is kind of bizarre to hear her reading Estelle Harris's lines there. Just different delivery, of course. But anyways, a male nurse arrives. Big dude. 6:30, Scott. Time for your sponge bath.
6:30 already? I fell asleep.
Right. Brilliant move. I don't know whose idea this was, but we get not only the callback to George and Estelle in the hospital, but we get another sponge bath behind the curtain, this time 2 men instead of 2 women. And it's not only a clever joke, but I think it's a really interesting look at sexuality, right, and gender. When George, oh my God, he couldn't help but look at the 2 women getting a sponge bath, and he loved it. But now that it's 2 men, he's still looking, but he looks terrified.
Very uncomfortable once again.
Yes.
That male nurse is played by actor Ben Reed. He was in the movie Face Off, as well as American Sniper.
Oh.
And Scott, who forgot about the sponge bath, he's played, or voiced at least, by Dec McKenzie.
Who is?
Stand-in for Jerry Seinfeld.
There you go. One of the probably many forgotten Dec McKenzie roles, just because you'd have to know his voice really well.
Yeah.
So we cut over to Monk's, and Jerry, George, and Elaine are sitting in the booth. Turns out Sharon wants to meet with Jerry. He's not sure why. And before George and Jerry can plan out their night to see Guys and Dolls, I thought it was a soldier, but he's credited as sailor, right?
So on IMDb, he's listed as a Marine.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
we could just say military officer.
The military officer in uniform approaches them, and God, I love this moment. It just feels so progressive. It took a lot of guts to come out the way you did, and inspired me to do the same, even though it means a discharge from the service.
Thanks.
It just walks off, and he's not being disingenuous. He's being proud.
Sincere.
Yeah. What do you think? The audience just erupts in applause, and
Jerry has his hand up as if to say, and he's too tired to even. He's too frustrated to even, call this soldier back.
He doesn't even know what to, and what would you say if you could get him to come back? And I think this is such a nice moment because it's like a little commentary, on the time they lived in, times we live in still, actually, but in regards to the don't ask, don't tell military policy.
Speaking of military, that military man, Anthony Mangiano, plays the Marine or sailor, however you want to, I'm not sure what service he's in. So he plays this military officer in The Outing, but he also comes back to play a fireman in The Maid, which leads me to ask the question, was he possibly discharged from service, and did he go on to become a fireman? Or did he just, get out of the military and then become a fireman?
We're getting a little...
Or is he a double dipper?
We're getting a little lax, I feel like, on the double dipper rules. So just for, I don't know. Also, we're running out of double dippers as the series goes on. So
let's keep on keeping on. Then.
Yeah, let's make him a double dipper.
You double dipped the chip.
Double dipped? What are you talking about?
Anthony Mangiano.
We salute you.
Showing. Anthony Mangiano was also in Point Break, Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag, NYPD Blue, Law and Order, The Wire, Rescue Me, The Dictator, Inside Man, and Person of Interest.
Nice. Very good. Let's see here. Before we move on, there was a bit of a deleted scene at the top. When they arrive, you'll notice in the final version, they arrive, they sit down, and then the soldier sailor guy approaches. But originally, they're at the door by Ruthie Cohen, and George tells Jerry and Elaine about his mom falling off the toilet. Elaine laughs again like she did in the contest. Mm-hmm. But it always seems like Julia breaking. Later, they sit down, and Elaine sits on one side. George sits next to Jerry on the other side. And we get one of the most awkward jokes in the entire episode. Jerry is really uncomfortable, and it's like, why don't you sit over there? And there's this weird kind of joke as George moves over and sits next to Elaine. There's no laughter at all. The audience is not laughing at all in this scene, and I think that's the obvious reason why it was cut. Maybe time, too, but all of the gay jokes throughout this episode are handled, I think, so well with that PC satire that moment came off as a little, I think, cruel.
Insensitive, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But Jerry does not want to go see Guys and Dolls anymore, and George freaks out, which is really interesting. Maybe it's the whole, like, chaos that has been produced by this article, but he won't keep his voice down when someone from the restaurant in an apron walks up to the table and says,
if you boys can't control yourselves, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Yes.
Come on, Larry, you know me. So Larry, or Lawrence, that's the manager of Monks.
Yes.
And his first appearance in the series.
Only what, 4 episodes?
6.
6, okay.
So Larry is played by Lawrence Mandley. 6 episodes of Seinfeld: The Outing, The Wife, The Soup Nazi, The Foundation, and The Abstinence. He was also in Friends, Mad About You, The Nanny, How I Met Your Mother, and It's Always Sunny. Did you notice the blocking on what?
Sorry, who's he in It's Always Sunny?
Remember when Dennis gets committed to that asylum and he thinks he's seeing Rob Thomas and Sinbad?
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy that the actual guy he sees, not Sinbad.
Oh, yeah, when you find out it's not Sinbad, it's in fact Lawrence Manley.
Yeah.
Right on. He's great. I love him as Larry.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I have his autograph from our trivia night spoils from years ago.
Really?
I got his headshot signed by Lawrence Manley.
Oh, we didn't meet him. It was just like a prize, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I forgot about that.
Did you notice the blocking on that shot when he turns his head and looks?
Oh, yeah, I think that's the joke.
That he has this earring and it's like a diamond that sparkles into the screen.
That was God, I haven't thought about that since elementary school, but I remember everyone said, oh, if you have your right ear pierced, you're gay. Uh-huh. If you have your left ear pierced, you're not. And even though his left ear is pierced, I think that's the insinuation that signifies him being gay. I don't know if that was ever true, though, like a real thing.
Nor do I.
Now, you said that Larry was the manager, but you know what I'm getting at, right? In a couple episodes, the pilot will meet Mr.
Bazagna.
Whatever, with the wait staff that's large-breasted women. I think Larry might be the cook.
Okay.
Not the manager, but later on he seems like the manager since he's like take it outside with the cigarettes.
Yeah. So let's call him the cook for now.
Okay.
Maybe he gets promoted in a couple episodes.
For sure. The gang on the commentary did mention how much he loved playing that character, which is a shame to hear because he's not only great, like I love all of his lines, all of the scenes, but he never really gets used.
Not enough.
No, to his full potential. So George is going to take Elaine to see the musical.
Yes!
So cute. George doesn't want her to say anything to Allison, can't imagine her reaction. And that's when he realizes if she sees the article, she'll realize he's gay. And
I'm out, baby! I'm out!
Yes.
2 meanings?
Oh, yes, most definitely. He is definitely out, as we'll find out in the next scene in his car. One of the greatest George moments, very similar to the Visa with Cheryl, where he's like,
I'm dark, I'm depressed,
yeah,
I'm inadequate.
Like, that's how disturbed I am.
Trying to convince this woman what he wants her to believe.
Right, and then this time it's, after Allison reads the article, so what? I'm gay!
I'm a gay man. I'm very, very, gay. My favorite line is steeped in gayness.
Yes. It's definitely a straight guy like pretending to be gay. No gay man I don't think would ever talk that way. Mm-hmm. But Allison doesn't believe him and wants to hear it from Jerry. Even gets pretty aggressive. Grabs George's shirt. I want to hear it from Jerry.
This won't be the last time, though, that George tries to get out of a relationship and the girl's just not having it. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of, remember he's dating that pair of women? The one who talks to fruit as well as the one who is tan year round.
Yes, looks like a carrot.
Hey, Mr. Apple, you have a brown spot.
So, last scene of the episode, we're back at Jerry's apartment. Jerry getting pretty hot and heavy with Sharon. I mean, my God. She admits, she was attracted to him immediately, and he was attracted to her too.
You remind me of Lois Lane.
Yes. Definitely a line added during filming, I feel. Mm-hmm. They continue to make out, just as George and Allison conveniently walk in.
Jerry, oh my God, what are you doing?
What?
You're with a woman.
I know. What are you doing here?
I leave you alone for 2 seconds, and this is what you do? I trusted you.
Would you get the hell out of here?
What's going on? Yeah, what's going on?
All right, tell her. Go ahead.
Tell her what?
About us.
Are you crazy?
Tell her, Jerry, tell her.
I'm not telling her nothing. You haven't heard what you're saying.
Oh, this is too weird.
Wait a minute. You're the girl that wrote the article. Go ahead. Tell her.
I'm out of here.
It's not true. It's not true. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You stupid idiot.
Oh, please don't be upset.
Oh, would you stop it with that stuff?
What's going on?
All right, I'll tell you the truth. I'm not gay. My name's Buck Naked. I'm a porno actor.
Really?
Oh, my God.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
How you doing?
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
How are you?
All right. We'll see you later. He's the phone man. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think the scene is as strong as the other 2 clips we played, the phone call and the initial scene with Sharon, but a wonderful scene nonetheless, and great way to end the episode.
Great capper with Michael and that great reveal. I feel sorry for Jerry because he almost had a nice relationship with Sharon and George ruined it.
Yeah, he barely got to know her, and they obviously really liked each other.
And it's only fitting that now Kramer, seeing his 2 best friends possibly gay, begins to question his sexuality, or at least that's what the audience is led to believe, that he is now questioning, is he gay? And he has this phone man come late at night without tools, mind you.
Yes, those are the 2 sticking points. If anyone believes Kramer in that he's the phone man, why is he there at night? And where are his tools?
And he happens to be handsome, and he sticks his head in. Hello.
Yes. Very dreamy, very dreamy.
That handsome man is played by David Gibbs. He was in Another World, Hots, and The Killing Zone. All like 80s and 90s movies that I don't recall.
Very cool, very cool. But let me ask you, though, getting back to Kramer having sex with a man, do you believe that's what's going on? Is Kramer, testing the waters, as it were?
Probably not, but that's what the audience, I think, was led to believe.
Oh, that's funny.
For an instance, right?
I totally think he is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like to believe that Kramer is that adventurous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe when he was in Sweden, he...
Let's move on to stand-up.
I am not gay. I am, however, thin, single, and neat. Sometimes when someone is thin, single, and neat, people assume they are gay because that is a stereotype. You normally don't think of gay people as fat, sloppy, and married. Well, I'm sure there are. I don't want to perpetuate the stereotype. I'm sure they're the minority, though, within the gay community. Probably discriminated against. Because of that, people say to them, Joe, I enjoy being gay with you, but I think it's about time, you got in shape, tucked your shirt in, and lost the wife. But if people are going to assume that people that are neat are gay, maybe instead of doing this, I think Joe might be a little... They should vacuum, I think Joe might be... Yeah. I got a feeling he's a little...
Great stand-up. Love it.
Yeah, and the whole incorporation of this true life rumor about, was Jerry gay, or the character Jerry gay, that they incorporated into the show and into the stand-up.
Yes. It's great. I do love the joke with the the vacuum cleaner and just that motion instead of that. I don't know. Was he like doing something with his wrist?
The stereotype is the limp wrist motion.
Yes, and I love the vacuum noise.
Now, this actually got me thinking of a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode, The Satyr, when Larry has people over and Jeff, his manager's there, and Jeff's Republican cousin is there, who is played by Stephen Tobolowsky, who was Tor Ekman in The Heart Attack. Yes. Are you with me? That was a long one. Anyway, Jeff and Larry are talking, and they make this motion of, when you kind of say something is so-so, where you wiggle your hand, they say, is your cousin
a little
rock hand back and forth? Mm-hmm. And that is meant to imply that he's Republican.
Yes.
Which the first time I saw that episode, I thought he was doing gay.
He was gay. I think that's whenever you twist your hand, it's like he might be straight, he might be gay.
Yeah.
You're not sure.
But I was interesting, and I like that they kind of went with it and just they made it a new thing. Was he's Republican? Right. So I can't help but think of that when I see this scene.
Oh, for sure. Should we move on to ratings?
Yeah, all right.
So, what do you think?
This might be the shortest rating we've ever done. This episode is wonderful.
The episode speaks for itself.
Yes, it sure does. This is, I'll just say right now, it's a solid 10. 10 steams with Kramer out of 10.
Ooh. I will see your 10 steams with Kramer and raise you 10 washed pears out of 10.
10 what?
Washed pears.
Oh, washed pears.
What do you think I said?
I think I meant like washed pairs of clothing or jeans or something.
Sure.
Gold, baby.
Was that the highest?
Yeah.
And it's gold, baby.
I am curious, though, how this episode has aged, because it was, I think, progressive at the time. I think a lot of things have changed for the better politically. Unfortunately, a lot of things haven't changed, mainly people's tolerance. But I think this is a great episode. I think it still holds up. I think it's going to show its age over the years. Nothing can, stay relevant forever. I just love the way Jerry and Larry chose to approach this issue. Not the issue itself, rather the PC, the political correctness of it. That's what they're making fun of. And it also kind of ties into Jerry's recent comments about not playing, at college campuses because he thinks people are too PC. Even though we gave this a 10 out of 10, it is interesting how Elaine's story is kind of small. She's sort of neglected. It is really the Jerry and George episode. But yeah, it's just amazing how, I don't know, I feel like I want to give 10s to episodes or 9.5s to ones that really use all the characters equally. And Kramer's not really used that much either, but this still feels like a solid 10.
When he's put in, though, he's used to the full degree, and that's what makes it great. And the ones that I'm really putting a 10 for are the ones that I find myself, I don't even take notes on because I'm just sitting there in amazement and laughing.
Yeah.
Because I had hardly anything to comment on because I'm just chuckling out loud. That's what makes it a 10 for me. All right, that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please feel free to drop us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr.
Also, check us out on iTunes. Leave us a rating and review if you have the time. Thanks to everyone who's done this so far. We really appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to help support the show in any way, check us out on Tumblr, and you'll see a donate tab at the top of the page. Any way you can support us, we'd really appreciate it. So, Vinny, what episode are we discussing next week?
The 17th episode of Season 4, The Shoes.
Hey, what are you eating there?
Pasta Primavera.
Did you know that Primavera is Italian for spring?
No.
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. The official Seinfeld site can be found at sonypictures.com/TV/Seinfeld. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
We're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.